Good afternoon. We are so excited to tell you this amazing, remarkable story. And I know that you all are going to be terrific audience members. So I'm trusting you, and these kids are so ready. They're so excited. So sit back, relax, and enjoy A Wrinkle in Time.
What's it? Tempest fugit, for heaven's sake. Time flies by. Oh, but I wish there was no wind. It's so difficult to manage in these clothes. Ab honesto viro, bona nihil deterrent. Seneca, nothing deters a good man from doing what is honorable. Oh, of course, I know who. It's just that the clothes.
All right, girls. There's not all the time in the world.
She's right, which is always right.
Let us begin.
It was a dark and stormy night. In her adventure, Margaret Murray sat on her bed and watched the trees tossing in the frenzied lashing of the wind.
I hate this weather. It's the worst it's ever been. It's gonna blow the house down, I'm sure of it. Or at least the roof. It's a hurricane and it's gonna blow the roof off and I'm gonna be tossed out into the wild night sky. And no one will know because they're all asleep and I'm stuck in this attic all alone. I hate this attic. I hate everything. It's not just the weather, it's the weather on top of everything. On top of me, on top of Meg Murray doing everything all wrong.
It's all wrong, really, Mag. I don't understand how a child with parents as brilliant as yours are supposed to be can be such a poor student.
Who cares about stupid school anyhow?
If you don't manage to do a little better, you'll have to stay back next year. I realize there may be some trouble at home, but...
Why do they always bring up my family?
Hey, Megatron, what's up with your baby brother?
Shut up, Chris.
He can't even talk yet.
So, what do you care?
He's like retarded, right?
Don't say that. Take it back.
Or what? What are you gonna do about it?
Miss Murray, in my office again? Fighting this time?
It's not my fault.
Margaret, you know you can't beat up everyone who makes remarks about your little brother.
I can try.
Do you seriously enjoy being the most belligerent and uncooperative child in the school?
Really, Meg?
How are things at home? Are you...
Everything's fine at home.
Margaret, don't you think you make a better adjustment to life if you just face facts?
If you just face the facts of the situation...
Why don't you face the facts about your father?
Leave my father out of it.
Meg, don't worry about Charles Wallace.
But...
There's nothing the matter with him.
Oh, no, all right. I just don't want him to be dumb, like me.
Oh, Meg, you're not dumb. Your development just has to go at its own pace. It just happens to be at the slower pace than usual.
Yes, but how do you know? You just don't think I'm dumb because you have to believe that. You're my father, right? Why must everything happen to me? I'll make myself some cocoa. That'll cheer me up. And if the roof blows off, at least I won't go off with it. Fortinbras, hush! You'll wake up the
Whole house?
Charles Wallace. Don't do that.
Do what? Wait for you?
Why didn't you come up to the attic? I've been scared stiff.
Too windy up in the attic of yours. I knew you'd be down.
You did?
You want some cocoa, right? I have it ready. It's hot, but not scalding. Just how you like it.
Charles,
What?
how do you know I'd be down and want some cocoa?
I don't know how to explain it. You tell me. That's all. Everything about you tells me.
You mean you read my mind?
I wouldn't say it like that. It's more like understanding a sort of language, if I concentrate hard enough. Almost like understanding the wind talking to the trees.
Okay, but don't tell anyone you can do that, all right?
Could you check the stove? I don't want the milk to burn.
You've got more milk on. Why?
I thought Mother might like some.
Might like some what?
Cocoa. I have it ready. Meg, Mother's ready for a cocoa.
That would be lovely, Charles, dear, but please not so loud, unless you'd like the twins downstairs as well.
Let's be exclusive. That's my new word of the day. Exclusive. Impressive, isn't it?
It's prodigious. Thank you, Meg. And oh, let me take a look at that bruise.
It's fine.
Come here.
I hate my hair. It's not anything like yours. I should just get it all cut off.
Hush, Meg. You do not know the meaning of moderation, do you? A happy medium is something I wonder if you will ever learn. That's a nasty bruise that the Henderson girl gave you.
It's prodigious.
By the way, her mother called up to let me know about how badly you hurt her. But considering that she's at least a year older and 25 pounds heavier than you are, I thought I was the one who ought to be doing the complaining. But she seemed to think that it was all your fault.
No matter what happens, people seem to think it's my fault. It's just been an awful week. I'm full of bad feeling.
Do you know why, Meg?
No, it's just, I hate being an oddball. I try to pretend I'm not, but it isn't any help.
You are much too straightforward to pretend to be something you're not, Meg. I'm sorry. Maybe if your father were here. I'm afraid that you're just going to have to give yourself some time. But that isn't much help right now, is it?
Meg, I think I'll talk to Mrs. Whatsit about you.
Miss Whatsit?
What's it stand for?
That's her name. You know the house back in the woods that's supposed to be haunted? That's where Mrs. Whatsit and her two friends live.
You know you're not supposed to leave the property without permission, Charles.
I know. That's one of the reasons I did. I wanted to be exclusive about them for a little while.
Charles.
I don't like this wind. It's gonna blow the house down.
Meg, this house has stood up for almost 200 years. I think it'll last a little longer. What's Fort barking at?
He was barking before, too. It's the tramp. I'm sure it's the tramp.
A tramp?
What tramp?
They were saying at the post office this afternoon that a tramp stole all of Miss Buncombe's sheets.
We'd better sit on the pillowcases then. I'm sure not even a tramp would be out on a night like this. Just let me go see.
I'll go with you.
No, Meg, you stay with Charles Wallace. Just wait until Whoa!
Mother? Mother?
Ah, what a sweet doggy Labrador, isn't it?
It's all right, Meg. This is,
Mrs. Whatsit, what are you doing here at this time of night? No, don't be worried, my darling.
Mrs. Whatsit says that she's lost her way.
Well, it isn't so much that I lost my way, more that I got blown off course. And when I realized I was at dear little Charles Wallace's house, I thought I'd pop in before proceeding on my way.
How'd you know this was Charles Wallace's house?
Oh, by the smell.
The smell?
My, but it's lovely and warm in here. I'm new to the neighborhood, and I didn't think I was going to like any of the neighbors at all until little Charles popped up.
Would you care for some hot cocoa, Miss Whatsit?
Charmed, I'm sure.
Then please, sit down.
Mrs. Whatsit, what are you doing? And why have you taken all Mrs. Buncombe's sheets? Oh, Charles, dear, I needed them.
You took them?
You must return them at once. But Charles, dear, I've used them.
Here you are.
Thank you, dear. Charles, tell your sister I'm all right. Tell her my intentions are good. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. My, isn't he cunning? Who would love that quote?
Who?
Exactly. Do you mind if I take off my boots?
Not at all.
Oh, there's so much water in them. Don't you hear them squelching? The trouble is, my boots are mighty too tight, and I never can seem to get them off by myself. I'll help you, Mrs. Whatsit. Oh, you're not strong enough.
Then I'll help.
Mother!
Meg, grab a bucket. There's about to be quite a bit of water in here.
Oh, there is, I assure you.
Why don't you stay the night? At least, it's much too wild of a night to travel in.
Oh, but the wild nights are my glory.
At least until your socks are dry.
Wet socks don't bother me. I just don't like the water squelching around in my boots. I'll be on my way, Lamb, as soon as this boot... Woo!
Are you all right, Miss Whatsit?
Yeah, if you had some liniment, I'll put on my dignity. I think it's sprained.
Let me help you up.
Speaking of ways, dear, There is such thing as a tesseract.
What did you just say?
I said there is such thing as a tesseract. Now, I'll be on my way, dears. Thanks for the cocoa. Ta-ta!
Mrs. What's-it, wait!
Mother, what's the matter?
Tesseract.
What did she say, Mother?
Mrs. What's-it says goodbye.
Oh, Meg, Charles Wallace, you'll never get up tomorrow morning. You two better both head to bed.
But Mother...
Meg, make sure that Charles Wallace gets tucked in for the night.
I'm perfectly capable of getting to bed on my own. Good night, Mother.
Mother, are you upset?
Yes.
Why?
Oh, it's your father, dear. I miss him very much.
What does Miss What's-it have to do with Father?
Your father and I used to have a joke about tesseracts.
What is a tesseract?
It's rather difficult to understand. It's a concept. Your father and I used to talk about tesseracts, scientist to scientist.
So all this has something to do with Father?
It would seem so.
But how?
I don't understand it any more than you do, Meg. But I have come to learn that you do not have to understand things for them to be.
But I want to understand things, like Charles Wallace.
You mean how he is able to see into other people? Well, Charles Wallace is different.
Different how? He doesn't look any different than anybody else.
People are much more than the way they look.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to accept things without understanding them.
Yeah. And don't worry about Charles Wallace either. He'll find his own way.
Okay.
I'm sorry I showed you I was upset, Meg. Good night.
Good night, Mother. He'll be back, Mother.
Margaret Mary faded at disturbing during social studies, teacher noticed lack of attention.
She couldn't concentrate on the lecture. Her eyes were barely open.
Inside behavioral issues such as insubordination.
When asked to name the principal imports and exports of Nicaragua, she couldn't remember a single one.
Who cares about the imports and exports of Nicaragua anyhow?
For her rudeness, Margaret was sent to the principal again.
Great. Another horrible day.
Come on, Meg, let's go.
Where?
I thought we'd better go see Mrs. What's-it.
Oh, why, Charles? You know how Mother feels about those woods.
Mother's in the lab. She won't even notice we're gone. I want to find out more about that tesseract thing. Didn't you see how much it upset Mother?
All right, but not for long.
Another horrible day at school?
Yeah, I got sent to Mr. Jenkins. He made...
Comment about Father? I know.
Charles!
I can't help it. You tell me, sort of inadvertently.
Inadvertently?
It's a good word, isn't it? I got Mother to look it up in the dictionary for me. I really must learn to read, but I'm afraid it will make things awfully hard when I have to go to school next year and already know things.
Yeah.
Someone's following us.
Where?
Someone's here.
I don't see anyone.
Following us, I think. Whoever's out there, stop hiding. Show yourself. Come out.
Wasn't hiding.
Calvin O'Keefe?
Meg? Who is he?
He's a couple of grades above me. Let's go, Charles.
You're two of the Murray kids, right?
What are you doing here?
This isn't your property, is it? What are you doing here?
Tell me about it.
What would I know about him? He's a big deal at school. Popular.
We shouldn't hold that much against him. What else?
I don't know. He's on the basketball team.
That's because I'm tall.
Tell us why you're here.
What is this, the third degree? Aren't you the one who's supposed to be the moron?
Hey! That's right. And if you want to know why we're here, you're going to have to talk first.
All right. I just came to get away from my family.
What kind of family?
It's complicated. There's lots of us. I'm third from the top of 11 kids. I'm a sport.
So am I.
Not like in baseball,
I know.
like in biology.
A change in genes resulting in the appearance in an offspring of a character which is not present in the parents but is still transmissible to its offspring.
I was told you couldn't talk.
Thinking I'm a moron gives people something to feel smug about. Why should I disillusion them?
You're the strangest moron I've ever met.
All right. Let's get going. It's getting dark, and Mother's gonna wonder where we are.
So, where are you going?
You still haven't told us why you're here.
I told you.
The truth?
Okay. Sometimes I get these feelings, these compulsions. They're called compulsions. Do you know what a compulsion is?
Constraint, obligation, because one is compelled. Not a good definition, but it's concise Oxford.
Okay. Anyway, when I get these feelings, these compulsions, I always do what they tell me to. And today, I got this feeling
That you had to come to the haunted house.
Exactly. So what do you think of that?
I believe you.
Yeah?
We're going to the haunted house too. Let's take him to see Mrs. What's-It. If he's not okay, she'll know.
What? Who?
It's hard to explain.
You coming?
Do you want to come?
Sure, why not? Lead on, moron. Joking. So, what about you? Do you get these feelings too?
No,
Meg has it tough. She's not really one thing or the other.
What do you mean I'm not one thing or the other?
Oh, Meg.
Don't Meg me. I'm still your big sister. What was that?
I guess we've arrived. This place is a lot more haunted than the last time I was here.
Was that a rat?
They get a lot of fun out of using typical props.
Charles, stay close.
Boom! Mrs. Who, please take off those sheets.
Hello, Charles.
Mrs. Who, what are you doing? And why do you have all Mrs. Buncombe sheets?
Le cœur est une raison, une raison ne connaît point. French. Pascal, the heart has its reasons, where reason knows nothing.
But that's not appropriate at all.
Your mother would find it so.
We're not talking about my mother.
Oh, well, ghosts, of course, if we need to frighten anyone. Not you, my pets. Sorry, auf frische Tat erat. German, in flagrante delicto. Latin, caught in the act. English. Yes?
Mrs. Who, do you know this boy?
Good evening, ma'am. I didn't quite catch your name.
Miss Who? Will do. Not my dear Charlesy, but good one. He is.
Where's Mrs. What's-It?
Busy inside. The time has come, the walrus said. Oh, Charlesy, getting your time. He's a good man, but now he needs our help.
Who?
Little Maxie, lovely to meet. Your father, of course. Now go home, eat, rest. Feed this one up. Justitia soror fides. Latin again, of course. Faith is the sister of justice. Trust in us. Off, go. Shoo!
Charles?
I don't understand either. Not quite. I think you better come home and have dinner with us.
Charles, you can't just go inviting people over.
Why not? Mother always makes more than enough food.
He's probably burned it.
She gets preoccupied with her science experiments.
He's not gonna want to come over to our house. Or do you? Do you have a feeling about dinner too?
As a matter of fact, I do. I've never seen your house before, and I've got the funniest feeling that for the first time in my life, I'm going home.
Okay, Stu it is.
Mother?
We're home.
I'm in here. Wipe your feet. Stew for dinner, but don't tell the twins that I'm cooking in the lab. They are always a little suspicious that some chemicals may get mixed in with their meal.
It smells super. Mother, this is Calvin O'Keefe. Is there enough for him too?
Oh, hello there, Calvin. Yes, of course. Is that all right with your parents?
I don't think they'll even notice.
There is a lot of O'Keefe kids.
Well, we're glad to get to borrow one of them.
Fuel. I need fuel.
Apples on the counter, but don't eat too many. Dinner soon.
So is everyone a genius around here or what?
No, I'm the dumb one.
Meg, ask her about something you're learning in science.
That wouldn't be fair. I'm a few years older than her.
Go ahead.
Okay, what is E equals mc squared?
Einstein's equation, of course.
What does the E stand for?
Energy,
M,
mass,
C?
the square of the velocity of light in centimeters per second. This is...
Now, try math.
Okay. What is the square root of 5?
This is silly. Let's stop. 2.236.
Hey,
See?
impressive.
It's not.
To me it is.
The problem with Meg in math is that she knows far too many shortcuts from her father. Then, when people ask her to do it the long way, she sets up a fine mental block for herself. She can be quite stubborn.
Mother.
But it's true. Now, let me just finish up here. That way we can get supper on the table. I'm almost finished.
Do you want to see the garden?
Sure.
We're glad we have you, Calvin.
Me too, believe me. After you.
So we've got corn, and the last little green beans, and pumpkins over there. This is the twins' garden. They take care of it mostly. And the orchard's back there, and why are you looking so goofy?
Am I? I can't help it. You know what being here is like? It's like, I don't know. For the first time in my life, I'm not alone.
But you're never alone. You're good in school, you play basketball, everyone loves you.
For all the most unimportant reasons, there hasn't been anybody I can really talk to. Here, I feel differently.
You do?
Yeah. Hey, maybe we weren't meant to meet before this, Meg. I mean, I knew who you were in school, but I didn't know you. We're going to be good friends, you know.
Okay, I guess. This is all so weird.
I know. Oh, what's going on with your dad?
What?
I mean, that woman at the haunted house, she was talking about your father, right? All this has to do with him?
I don't know what she was talking about.
But you know more than I do. Where is your father anyway? He's a physicist, right? He's supposed to run off with another woman, right?
That's not true.
Hey, I didn't say I believed it, did I?
My father works for the government. He's on a classified mission. We haven't heard from him, and they won't tell us where he is, all right?
All right. So what do they tell you?
Nothing. Mother's been down to Washington and everything. All they tell us is he's unable to communicate now, and they'll give us news when they get it.
Meg, don't get mad, but do you maybe think that they don't know where your dad is?
That's what I'm afraid of. Ugh, I hate it when I lose my temper.
It's all right.
I hate myself. I wish I were a different person.
Oh, Meg, don't be a moron. Don't you know this is the nicest thing that's happened to me for a long time?
I wish you would just quit saying that word.
Okay, break it up, you two. I wasn't spying, but this is it. We're going.
This is what?
We're going.
Going where?
I don't know exactly, but I think it's to find Father. Come on!
It is time.
What was that?
It's Mrs. Witch!
I do not think I'll materialize completely. I find it very tiring and we have much to do.
What's going on?
Time to go.
No, stop this.
Quiet, child.
Charles Wallace. I'm having a nightmare. I want to wake up. Let me wake up.
I really think you might have warned us. Meg, Calvin, where are you?
Give me a little time, will ya? Remember, I'm bigger than you are. Oh, that was quite a trip.
Where's Meg?
I'm right here.
What's happened to her?
I'm here.
Mrs. Witch, you haven't left Meg behind, have you? There you are.
But where is there?
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? Oh, I'm ever so glad every time we visit here. Smell the breeze. Butterflies.
If you ladies are done, I think you should tell Meg and Calvin a little bit more about all this. You scared Meg half out of her wits, whisking her off without any warning.
Incerunt animi, raro et per pauca loquentis. Horace, to action, little less towards inclined.
Mrs. Who, I wish you would stop quoting.
Oh, but she finds it so hard to verbalize, Charles dear. It helps if you can just quote instead of working out the words herself.
And we mustn't lose our sense of humor. The only way to cope with something deadly serious is to try and treat it a little lightly.
Where are we now?
Uriel, the third planet of the star Moloch in the Spiral Nebula Messier 101.
And I'm supposed to believe that?
As you like.
Well, then someone at least tell me how we got here. Even traveling at the speed of light, it would have taken us years for us to get here.
Oh, we don't travel at the speed of anything. We tesser, or as you might say, we wrinkle.
Clear as mud.
You talk of traveling at the speed of light. That, of course, is impractical, the long way around. We have learned to take shortcuts whenever possible.
Sort of like in math.
Like in math. Take your skirt. Show them.
La experiencia es la madre de la ciencia. Spanish, my dears. Cervantes. Experience is the mother of knowledge.
You see, if a very small insect were to move from the section of skirt in Mrs. Who's right hand to that in her left, It would be quite a long walk for it to go straight across.
And now, you see, he would be there without the long trip.
I see.
I don't.
You're just used to thinking in terms of 3 dimensions.
We travel in the 5th dimension.
The 5th dimension's a tesseract.
So, in other words, a line is not the shortest distance between 2 points? I got it. For a moment, I got it. Calvin, did you get it?
Enough. At least enough to get the idea, I think.
It was a concept your mother and father were working on. Tesseracts.
So, Father... Oh, is my father here?
Not here, Meg. Let Mrs. Watson explain. She's younger and the language of words is easier for her.
Is my father all right?
Yes, love, for the moment, yes.
Where is he?
We don't know, dear. We can't tell you.
Please, take me to him.
Are you ready?
Of course we are. Let's go now.
You must be patient, Meg.
Patient? I've never been patient.
Children, do not be frightened. Oh, show them.
Should I change?
They may as well know now.
I hope it doesn't upset the children too much. I changed too by these clothes. So fun. Now transform.
Not yet. You may wait.
All right, children, do not be afraid. She walks in beauty like the night, of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet her aspects and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. No, not to me, Calvin. Never to me. Stand.
What do we call you now?
Oh, children, you can't just go on changing my name every time I metamorphosize. I've had so much pleasure being Miss Whatsit, I think I'd like to keep it that way.
Mrs. Whatsit,
Yes, Charles?
it's good to see you.
And you as well.
Carry them.
Okay, children, hop on.
You go, Charles.
I'm fine. Look at the mountains. They're so tall. You can't even see where they end.
Hold on, Charles.
Are we going up there?
Yes.
The singing, where is it coming from?
From the earth and the water and the air itself.
And your wings. Your wings are making the song happen.
Yes.
What's it saying?
Oh, it's impossible to translate into your words. I can't possibly transfer it.
It's beautiful.
Are you getting any of it, Charles?
A little. I can almost understand it.
Anyway, there is no time. Up we go! We have arrived. You may get off.
We've landed? Where? I can't see anything.
We must be on top of the mountains.
Close to.
It's like we're nowhere. Everything's gray.
There is no excellent beauty that hath not some strangers in proportion. Francis Bacon. Come on, children, not far to go.
But where are we going?
A friend to see. Don't be afraid. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. Roosevelt. Or was it Churchill? There's certainly nothing to fear from the happy medium.
Happy medium.
Oh, you'll like her. She's very jolly. If I ever saw her sad, I'd be very depressed myself. If she's laughing, I'm sure everything will be all right in the end.
Mrs. Whatsit, just because you're very young gives you no excuse for talking too much.
Sorry, Miss Witch.
We are here.
The visitors. Medium dear, these are the children. Margaret Murray,
Oh, yes, yes.
Charles Wallace Murray,
Of course he is, of course.
and Calvin O'Keefe.
So real, so personal, delighted. May I grab you some ambrosia, perhaps? Or nectar? No, tea, of course.
Actually, medium, we were wondering if you could show them their home planet.
Oh, Oh, why would you want them to see such unpleasant things when there are so many delightful ones to see?
Unpleasant?
There will no longer be as many pleasant things to look at if responsible people don't do anything about the unpleasant things.
Yes, you're right, of course. Oh well, look well, children, look well.
Look, stars.
That is your very own Milky Way.
We must be getting closer. There's a planet.
La Terre is petite à qui la voit du ciel. Filial, how small is the earth to him who looks from heaven.
It's so clear.
Yes.
I can see polar ice caps.
Yes.
Yes. It's red.
Medium dear, that's Mars.
Do I have to?
Show them.
The shadow grows.
There, that's the Earth. You see all the continents?
Yes, only what's that dark thing around it?
The shadow grows, dark and deep and cold, spreading over your world, growing larger and stronger. And where the shadow grows, the stars disappear. Cold beyond breath, destroyer of light. Fear beyond death, bringer of night.
I hate it. I hate it.
But what is it?
It's evil, the powers of darkness.
Has it just come while we've been gone?
No, Meg, it hasn't just come. This darkness has been at your planet for a many number of years. This is why your planet is such a troubled one.
Well, what can we do about it? What's gonna happen?
We will continue to fight.
Watch, children, watch. A great burst of light shoots through the shadow. The light spreads outward, where the dark thing once was. Only a gentle shining remains. And through the shining
comes the stars, clear and pure.
No shadow and no fear.
See, it can be overcome. It is being overcome all the time. Oh my.
Poor dear medium, we've worn her out, I think.
My father, is he fighting the dark thing too?
Yes. He's behind the darkness so that even we cannot see him.
But where is that?
On Camazotz, a planet that is given into the darkness.
Then let's go to him. Let's help him.
As you wish. We must let the we must... Are you ready?
Of course we are. Let's go now.
As you wish. We must let the darkness... We must go behind the shadow.
What's going to happen?
Children, do not be frightened.
Meg, stay angry. You'll need all your anger now.
Angry? Why? What's going to... Oh!
Charles?
I'm okay.
Calvin, are you all right?
I think so.
Did you feel that? That coldness?
It was like it was trying to get into me, or get me into it.
Is this Camazotz?
Yes.
But this looks just like home. Birches, pines, maples.
And there seems to be a town down there. I can see smokestacks.
Can't stay with you three children here. You're on your own.
We will be near you. We will be watching you. But you will not be able to see us or ask us for help, and we will not be able to come to you.
Is Father here?
Yes, but we cannot tell you where. You'll need help. For Calvin, a hint. Listen well. By the help of their most potent ministers and in their most unmixable rage, into a cloven pine within rift imprisoned, he does painfully remain. Shakespeare, the Tempest. For you, Charles, remember, you do not know everything. No words for you, little blind as a bat, but to you, my glasses. Use them as a last resort and save them for the final moment of peril. I may only give you this talisman. Calvin, your greatest gift is your ability to communicate with people of all kinds. This talisman will strengthen that gift.
You're afraid for us.
A little. But if you weren't afraid to do what you did as a star, why should you be afraid for us now? Oh, but I was afraid. Meg, to you, I give you your faults.
My faults?
Your faults.
But I'm always trying to get rid of my faults.
Yes, but I think you'll find them quite handy on Camazotz. You, Charles, I may only give you the resilience of childhood.
It is time.
The danger here is greatest for you.
Why? Because of what you are, you will be by far the most vulnerable. You must stay with Meg and Calvin. Stay together. Do not beware of pride and arrogance, Charles, for they may betray you.
Now I think I know what you mean about being afraid. Only a fool wouldn't be afraid. Now go.
All three of you, I give my command. Go down into the town. Stay together. Do not let them separate you. Be strong.
They're gone. We're on our own now.
I can't feel them at all. We got this.
Let's go.
Welcome to Camazotz, each house in our town.
Each house in our town is exactly alike. Cozy units painted gray. Each has a small rectangular plot of manicured lawn in front of the house. The flowers all make perfect lines. Pink, blue, pink, blue, pink, blue.
Our neighborhood
is top of the line. We watch our kids with civic pride. Every day at 3 o'clock, I play ball in front of the house. I bounce the ball in perfect time. Bounce down, bounce down.
How do they do that?
Let's go back.
Back? Back where?
I don't know. Back to the hill. Back to Mrs. Whatsit. I don't like this.
Come on. Mrs. Witch said we had to go into the town. We've got to find Father.
But what's wrong with them?
Do you know Charles? Can't you get into them?
I'm trying, but I can't get through. I can't get in.
Whose children are you? Children on our block aren't supposed to be out unsupervised.
We didn't know that, ma'am. We're strangers here.
We didn't want to get anybody in trouble. We just...
What are you doing on our block anyway? Where are your papers?
Are you the examiners? No matter, no matter. Everyone knows our city has the best central intelligence center on the planet. Our production levels are the highest. Our machines never stop rolling.
You have 5 poets, 1 musician, and 3 artists, all perfectly channeled.
What are you quoting from?
The manual, of course. All perfectly channeled. There's been no trouble of any kind for centuries.
That is why we are the capital city of Camazotz. That is why it makes its home here.
It?
Where is the central intelligence of yours anyways?
Just up the way there.
What is it?
Whose children are you? Show us your papers.
Are you supposed to be asking the questions?
I humbly beg your pardon. I must continue with my program. I will have to talk my timing into the explainer. Excuse me.
Our whole block was completely reprocessed last month. Enjoy your set.
What is it? It's almost like they weren't really doing the talking.
What are they so afraid of? The whole thing stinks anyway.
Come on, let's find Father. He'll be able to explain it to us.
Great! They said central intelligence was right over there.
Well, if Father's in trouble on this planet, isn't that exactly where we shouldn't go?
Well, we haven't the faintest idea where to start looking for him, Meg. In my opinion, that's the best place to start. If you have a better idea, Meg, why, of course, just say so.
Oh, get down off your high horse. Fine, we'll go to your central intelligence and get it over with.
Wait, there's a bad feeling I'm getting coming from there. Why don't you and Charles Wallace wait here and let me check out the place and then report back to you?
No! Mrs. Wetsey told us not to go off by ourselves.
But she told you not to go off by yourself. I'm the oldest and I should go first.
No, Charles is right. We have to stay together. Let's go.
Upon your arrival, the doors to Central Intelligence have slid open just for you, leaving you in an enormous hall of pale, cool green. Please enter.
Nothing to fear.
What?
Nothing to fear but fear itself. I'm quoting like Mrs. Who, but I'm terrified.
So am I. Come on, let's go. Charles, what's the matter?
Welcome.
She's trying to get at me.
Who, Charles?
Down the hall.
I don't know, but she's trying to get at me. I can feel her.
Let's go back.
Walk down the hall.
No, we can't make decisions based off of fear.
At the end of the hall, you will find a platform. And on the platform, you will find a chair. And on the chair, you will find me. I've been waiting for you. I hope you've had a pleasant visit so far.
Very educational.
Really? And perhaps you can tell me how it has been educational. Can you? Can you? Can you?
Close your eyes. Don't look at her eyes or the light. She'll hypnotize you.
Oh, very clever, aren't you? Focusing your eyes would, of course, help. But there are other ways, my little man. There are other ways.
If you try them, Mommy, I shall kick you.
There is no need to fight me. Why should you want to fight someone who is only here to save you the trouble, to help you, as I do for each of the happy, useful people on this planet? I am willing to take on all the messy burdens of thought, responsibility, and decision.
And we'll make our own decisions, thank you.
Yes, and our decisions will be one, yours, and mine. So much easier that way. Let me show you. Let us say our multiplication tables together.
No.
1 times 1 is
Mary
1.
had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow.
1
and
times
everywhere
3 is
that
3.
Mary went, that lamb was
1
sure to
times
go.
4 is 4.
4 years ago, our
1
fathers
times
brought
6 is
forth
6.
onto this
1
continent a
times
new
7 is
nation
7.
conceived in
1
liberty.
times 8 is 8.
Father, where is he?
Splendid, splendid. You have passed your preliminary tests with flying colors.
Please, sir, the only reason we're here is to find our father. Can you tell us where he is?
It is not whether I can, young lady, but if I will.
Will you then?
That depends. Why do you want him?
Why? You don't want him for a reason. We want him because he's our father, and we want to see him right now.
Patience, my young lady. Whether or not you will see your father depends on how well you cooperate.
Why should we trust you?
What caused you to distrust me?
Because you aren't you. You're not the one who's talking to us. I don't know where it's coming from or who it is, but it's not you. It's coming through you.
Very smart.
It's not that I'm smart.
Don't be so modest, little man. Why don't you come in and try to find out who I am?
I've been trying.
Look into my eyes. Look deep within them, and I will show you.
If I come in, can I get back out again?
Yes, but I don't think you will want to get back out.
Charles, don't. Let me do it.
Or me.
No, it is only Charles Wallace's whose neurological system is complex enough. Of course, you guys are great, but the young man's capabilities have not even yet begun to be explored. Charles, why don't you come in and find out who I am?
If I come in, not to stay, you'll tell us where our father is?
Yes, of course, and that's a promise, and I don't take promises lightly.
Okay, let's go.
Charles?
Yes, Meg, what is it?
No.
What's happened, Meg?
What's happened? What's happened to Charles?
I'm right here, Meg.
That isn't him. Look at his eyes.
Be sensible, Meg.
Calvin, that isn't Charles Wallace. That is only a copy of Charles Wallace. Where is he? What have you done with him?
There he is before you, completely happy and actually well for the first time in his life.
That isn't Charles Wallace. You've got him somewhere.
Meg, there's no use talking to him. Hold Charles Wallace tightly, don't lose control. Not now. He's still there somewhere underneath, and we can't let them take him away from us. Go.
Meg, let go of me. You know I don't like to be grabbed. Meg, let go of me. You're hurting me. Meg, let go.
No!
Listen to me. This person isn't our enemy at all. Mrs. Who, Mrs. Witch, and Mrs. What's-it were the ones who were really our enemy.
Ha!
Meg, we misunderstood. We've been fighting our friend and Father's friend this entire time. All you have to do is look into the eyes of our good friend here, dear sister, and she will take you in, as she has taken us all in.
Taking you in is right. Never once in your life have you called me dear sister.
Hush a minute, Meg. All right, we know you have Charles Wallace hypnotized.
A most primitive way of putting it.
If you're our friend, who are you?
I am the prime conductor, and that's all you need to know.
Are you still going to take us to Mr. Murray?
No.
You promised.
Yes, and Charles Wallace shall conduct you.
Charles Wallace?
Yes. In fact, it may as well be now.
Why did you let him do it?
Let me tell you something about this place. The
beautiful
planet of Camazotz. On Camazotz, we have conquered all illness, all deformity.
We?
We let no one suffer. No one is in pain.
How?
If anyone is sick or hurt, we simply end discomfort by putting them to sleep.
So you have them murdered.
Murder is the most primitive word. There's no such thing as murder on Camazotz. It takes care of all such things.
What is it?
On Camazotz, we are all happy because we are all alike.
Differences create problems.
You know that, don't you, dear sister?
No.
Oh, yes, you do. You know that's the reason you're unhappy at school, because you're different.
I'm different and I'm happy.
Oh, but you pretend that you aren't.
Maybe I don't want to be like everybody else, but I don't want to be different either.
Oh, how sad. To be a low individual organism, so messy. Look.
Father!
Wait!
What?
He's behind something transparent like glass. Look, he doesn't see or hear us. I think it's like one of those two-way mirrors where you can see in, but they can't see out.
He looks so old.
Yes, he does look a mess, doesn't he?
Charles, that's Father. Father!
So what?
Let me into him, please, Charles.
No, you must do as I've done and go into it.
It?
No. What will my being a zombie do to save Father?
It wants you, Margaret, and it will get you.
And for thou wast the spirit too delicate to act her earthy and abhorred commands. She did confine thee into a cloven pine. Charles!
What?
Good thing I had the tempest in school last year, isn't it, Charles? The witch trapped Ariel into the cloven pine, and you're like Ariel trapped inside the pine.
Stop staring at me.
And I can let you out, Charles. Just look at me, Charles. Come back to us. Come back to us.
No.
I almost did it. He almost came out.
Calvin, try Father too. He's imprisoned.
But he can't see me, Meg. He can't see me. I don't know what to do. They're asking too much of us.
Mrs. Who's glasses? Maybe they could.
Give me those glasses!
Look, the walls, they're rearranging.
Go through, Meg. Go.
Father, oh Father.
Meg, is that you? What are you doing here?
Of course it's me. Can't you see me?
No, Meg, I can't.
Here, try these glasses.
No, Meg, I'm afraid your glasses won't help.
They're not mine. They're Mrs. Who's. Please try them. Can you see now?
Yes, I can. The walls, they're rearranging. And, oh, Meg, my Meg. And is that Charles Wallace? Look how much older he's gotten.
It has him. We have to save him, Father.
You're right, Meg. Put your hand on my shoulder. Close your eyes and don't let go.
The dark thing is trying to get me.
Hold on, Meg.
It is not pleased. It is not pleased at all.
Charles Wallace.
What do you want?
Talking now?
He started just after you left. Full sentences.
Big deal.
I'm your father, Charles.
So what?
That isn't Charles Wallace. That's it talking through Charles Wallace.
Yes,
the real
yes,
Charles
ma'am.
Wallace isn't like that.
I can see. Charles Wallace, come here.
No.
Charles Wallace, I said come here.
Oh, get off it. You're not the boss around here.
But I'm your father.
Charles Wallace isn't like that. Ask Calvin. Calvin.
Make your introductions later. It does not like to be kept waiting.
We can't go to it. You can't take Meg there.
Oh, can't I?
Father, you can't talk to him as if he were Charles Wallace. What do you not understand?
I do understand, Meg. I just don't know what I can do.
Come along. We must go.
Charles, stop.
Come on, Meg. Let's go.
Why isn't he helping? Why isn't he doing anything? I thought that once we found him, everything would just go back to normal.
Can't leave, Charles. Let's go, or else they wouldn't like it.
Who wouldn't?
Mrs. Watson and company.
But they betrayed us. They left us here on this terrible planet and abandoned us.
Well, you could sit down and give up on Charles Wallace if you'd like. I'm sticking with him.
Wait, Calvin, I didn't mean it. Wait.
All minds, one mind. All minds, one mind. It beats, it waits, it calls, it wants you now. Feel the pulse within the room. Let your breath belong to it. Let your lungs belong to it. Let your heart belong to it.
Dear sister, see what's waiting here for you?
Charles, please, no.
A brain, a disembodied brain. a brain to think for everyone, a pulse, a breath. Let your mind belong to it.
Don't give in.
I won't. Now help Meg.
Control.
Control.
Meg, fight it.
I can't.
Meg, remember what Mrs. Whatsa gave you, your faults.
What? Impatience, stubbornness, and anger?
Give in.
Give in.
No, shut up. Mary had a little lemon sweet sauce.
No, that's too rhythmic, Meg.
We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Exactly what we have on Camazotz. Everyone alike. Complete equality.
No. Like and equal are not the same things at all.
Good girl, Meg. Don't let it think for you. Try something else. The periodic table of elements. You know them, Meg. Say them.
1 times
Hydrogen, helium,
1 times
beryllium,
2
boron,
is 2.
carbon.
1 times 3 is 3.
nitrogen.
1 times 4 is 4.
Sodium.
1 times 5 is 5.
I don't know how.
You have to, 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 8 is...
My eyes won't open. My mouth won't move. I'm so cold. So cold.
Her heart is beating so slowly.
It's beating. She's alive.
Charles!
Meg,
Meg,
are you all
are you all right?
I can't move.
Try, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers.
I can't. Where's Charles Wallace?
Meg, we were knocked out for a minute too. You'll be all right. Don't get panicky.
I'm frozen. Why?
I don't test her very well, Meg. I think I might have overshot somehow. And I think you're so cold because we passed through the dark thing. And for a moment, I thought it was going to tear you away from me.
You don't even know where we are. You lost Charles Wallace. What good are you?
Look. What are they?
I don't know. Animals?
No, they're intelligent and they've seen us.
How can you tell?
I can just tell.
You've killed us bringing us here.
I don't think so. How do you do, ma'am, sir? Can you understand me?
Who are you?
We're from Earth and we've had a terrible accident. This girl over here is injured and she's terribly cold.
What are you doing? Don't come near.
Meg?
Warm, so warm. Come here, child.
What are you doing?
Healing the child.
No.
We frighten you?
What are you going to do with us?
Sorry, we communicate better with the other one. Who are you?
I'm Calvin O'Keefe.
What is that?
Boy, a young man.
You two are afraid?
I'm not sure.
Tell me, what would you do if we arrived on your planet?
Shoot you, I guess?
Is that what we should do with you?
I'd really rather you didn't. We don't always make the best decisions on our Earth.
Perhaps they aren't used to visitors from other planets.
You, oldest man, we might have you come now.
Planet called Camazotz.
I can heal the child, but you must leave us.
No.
The child is in no danger from us. You must trust us.
Don't leave me the way you left Charles Wallace.
The sickness seems to spread inside as well as out. This little, what is it you call it?
Girl?
This little girl needs prompt and special care. The coldness of the, what is it you call it?
Dark thing?
The dark thing, yes. The dark thing burns unless it is counteracted properly.
You save her?
I think so.
Can I stay with her?
No, but you'll not be far away.
All right, then. We have no other alternative.
Father! Calvin! I'm so tired.
Then sleep, child, sleep. During the coldness we sleep.
You're so soft. You have to be good. You must be good.
Are you awake, little one? What a funny little tadpole you are. Is the pain gone?
Yes, I'm fine.
No, be still. Do not exert yourself as yet. The dark thing does not vanquish its victims willingly.
So dark here. Don't you have any lights?
What is this light?
I do not know.
We do not understand. Your father and the boy Calvin say it is night now on our planet and that they cannot see. We do not understand what this means to see.
Well, it's what things look like.
Look like?
We do not know what things look like, as you say. We know what things are like. It must be very limiting, this seeing.
What should I call you?
Well, now first, try not to say words this moment. Think within your own mind. Think of all the things you call people.
Mother, no, Mother Special, one name. Father you have here, no, not teacher nor friend, nor brother nor sister. Aunt, maybe, yes, that will perhaps do. Oh, but you think such odd words about me. Thing, and monster? Monster? What a horrid sort of word. Beast! Yes, that will do. Aunt Beast.
Aunt Beast? And what about you?
You can call me Cousin Beast.
That's perfect. I feel much better now.
Are you ready to see your father and Calvin again?
Yes, please.
Call them.
You may enter now.
Meg, are you okay?
Yeah, they promised us you were all right.
I'm fine.
We were trying to work out a plan to rescue Charles Wallace, since I made such a great mistake tethering away from it. We feel it would not be a wise decision for me to go back.
These people would know about tessering, but they said we can't do it onto a dark planet.
Have you tried calling Mrs. Whatsit?
Not yet.
Well, if you haven't thought of anything else to do, it's the only thing. Don't you care about Charles Wallace at all?
Child.
We have to call him. You're just stupid if you think we don't.
We are here.
We're not yet fully materialized yet. We had to move fast. You called?
Mrs. Whatsit, Father left Charles on Camazotz. You have to save him. Please save him.
You know there's nothing we can do on Camazotz, Meg.
But there's nothing that we can do. You have to save him.
Meg, I thought you would know this isn't our way.
I am honored to meet you three. I'm sorry, my glasses are broken and I cannot see very well.
It's not necessary for you to see us.
If you could teach me enough about Tesser so I could go back to Camazotz.
What then?
I'll try to take my child away from it.
You will not succeed.
I understand now.
What do you understand?
That it has to be me. Calvin and Charles barely know each other, and Father's been away for so long, they don't even know each other. There's nobody else. It has to be me.
No! I will not let my daughter go alone into this danger.
It's the only way.
Do you have the courage to go alone?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Is she strong enough to test her again?
If Miss Switch goes with her, she will manage.
If it will help, I could go too and hold her.
Oh, Aunt Beast.
No, it has to be Meg.
I understand. I just wanted you to know that I would.
Meg, don't be afraid. We will try to have courage for you. Good luck, Meg.
I'm this way.
We will wait her turn together.
You may go now.
The dark thing, it almost got me.
Meg, stop. We gave you gifts last time we sent you to Camazotz. We will not leave you empty-handed this time. Meg, I give you my love. My love always. Never forget that. What I gave you this time, try not to understand word by word, but in a flash. God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world, things which are despised, hath God chosen, yea, and things which are not, bring to the things that not are. May the right prevail.
I cannot hold your hand, child. I haven't given you my gift yet. You have something it has not. This something is your only weapon, but you must find it for yourself.
What have I got that it hasn't got? What have I possibly got? It isn't used to being resisted. That's what Father said. No, I'm sure it is used to being resisted, just not being resisted by other people. I'm going to Charles Wallace. That's what's important. Father said that it's all right for me to be afraid. And Mrs. Who, I don't really understand what she said, but I think it was to make me not hate the way I am. And Mrs. Whatsit said she loves me. That's quite something, to be loved by somebody like... What have I got that it hasn't got?
You have nothing that it doesn't have. How nice to have you back, dear sister.
We've been waiting for you.
We know Mrs. Whatsit would send you. She's our friend, you know.
No, you lie. As long as I can stay angry enough, it can't get me. Is that what I have that it hasn't got?
You have nothing that it hasn't got.
Shut up, you thing, you're lying!
You have nothing that it hasn't got. Nothing.
You're lying about Mrs. Whatsit.
Mrs. Whatsit hates you.
Mrs. Whatsit loves me. She said that she... That's what I have that it hasn't got. I've got Mrs. Whatsit's love, and Father's, and Charles Wallace, the real Charles Wallace, and I love them too. Charles Wallace, you are my baby brother. You take care of me. Please come back. Please come back to me, Charles. I miss you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Meg! Are we home? Meg, you did it! You saved me!
Mrs. Witch helped me test her, but what about Father and Calvin?
Meg, Charles Wallace, dinner's ready. What's the matter? Where have you guys been?
Where have we been? We've been everywhere. We went to Uriel, and then Camazotz, and we fought it, and then Meg saved me, and...
Meg, what is he talking about?
Mrs. Whatsit was right. There is such thing as a tesseract.
There is such a thing. Then you found him.
Meg, we're here.
We're home.
You're home. But how is that possible?
Come, Kate, there is much to tell.
Wait,
You feel them too?
I do.
Abayadi ya boitiyadi. Arabic. Home sweet home.
Now,
But we never learned what Mrs. Whatsit,
Mrs. Who,
And Mrs. Witch.
had to do, because there was a gust of wind, and they were gone.
For them again. Crew, come out and join us. Nightcast, come up and take a bow. One more bow, folks. Here we go. Thank you so much for coming. These fine people are going to show you the story again this evening, so we really hope that you'll come back and watch it. Have a good day.